Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nottingham Forest Career Mode. This is episode number something. It truly is, because honestly I can't remember the episode number in the top in my mind right now. Oopsies. It's episode something, that's all that matters anyway. It's probably like episode 12 or 13, it's one of the two. Anyway, we are here to start things off with a game against Fulham. Of course, this is going to be another one of those difficult games, because of course, if you saw the FIFA 16 series, you'd know that I took Fulham all the way up to the Premier League. And unfortunately didn't win the Premier League title with them, but took them all the way up there, and it was a long road, it was an emotional road. And now, of course, they're back down in the Championship, and now we're in charge of Nottingham Forest, so it's a little bit different. And of course, we discussed last time what would happen if Mr. Project and Papa Project were to touch hands. The universe would implode, and John O'Shea would walk out with the WWE Championship. Anyway, this time round, Fulham are 18 points behind us, but there was one thing they were in this game, and I was totally in control. They dominated us for the majority of this game, and I don't know what it was, I just couldn't get past Fulham, and Fulham were just finding it way too easy to get past us, and I believe that was Cabano knocking into the back of the net. The signing that I made in career mode is the signing that Fulham made in reality. That one still creeps me out, but Cabano knocks it home, and I was totally okay with this, because not only was it a lovely goal, but it was Cabano, who's someone who I did love using in FIFA 16, especially with Fulham as well, so for him to score against us, I'm totally okay with that. And of course, he can celebrate, because this is an alternate universe. Anyway, after 88 minutes or so of being utterly destroyed by Fulham, we realized we had one chance left. We stopped an attack, then we tried to catch them. We tried to get a break going, but there was only three of us going forward. We played it in. We played it out to the wing, just trying to look for any opportunity. Fulham clamping down in the box. Asabaloga finds space, and in the 90th minute, ties the game up, and means we will be able to salvage something from this dreary game. We played terrible, and it was a game that we deserved to lose, but Asabaloga there, smashing it into the back of the net. Great goal. I hope that's Bettinelli. I don't believe it's Bettinelli. It might be, I don't know. But he was truly beaten, and there we go. Asabaloga saves us once again, scoring yet another goal for us, and gets us a 1-1 draw. However, I'm pretty sure Villa won their game, and it's right about now that Villa starts being one game ahead of us. So note that down when you see the table at the end of the episode. Anyway, now we got the FA Cup. We're going to London Stadium. We're taking on the team that in reality, outside of screen mode, I do actually support in West Ham United. So I headed into this predicting a 4-2 win for Nottingham Forest. It's a game that we could easily win. It's also a game that we can easily throw away. We've had good luck against the Prem teams this season. We've knocked out Arsenal. We've knocked out Man United in the EFL Cup. We've knocked out Burnley in the EFL Cup. And of course in the finals we'll be taking on Spurs later on in this episode. But it was difficult to play West Ham because I really wanted to lose to them. Because let's be honest, in reality, West Ham's season has been nothing short of dreadful so far, sitting whatever it is. I think it's 15th place. It's terrible, but these things happen, and I had to try and put my bias aside and just focus on the game and playing as Nottingham Forest. This game in reality was actually quite a boring one as well, like the Fulham one looked. It was just a lot of midfield action, and when we got on goals, our shots were dreadful, but anyway, Ogbonna there with a Rabona penalty tackle. That was a very good move by Ogbonna there. I hope he brings it to the table more often. Anyway, Asombalonga steps up, 1-1 with Adrian, and there you go, it's in the back of the net. Whoop-de-woo. Asombalonga scores, and, well, it was 1-0. And that was basically the game right there. There was nothing highlight-worthy. He was scanning through this, trying to find something, and it was a very dull game, which is weird considering when I was playing it, it seemed much better. You can see all the two highlights so far come from the first half, and actually, fun fact, that's all the highlights of this episode of this match. Yep, we really didn't do anything entertaining in this matchup. West Ham played like the West Ham that we're seeing in real life, and so they deserve to be eliminated. Slaven Bilic, you are going to be not only fired, but you're going to be hung, drawn, and quartered, and lynched at the end of this game for being eliminated by Nottingham Forest. Anyway, we move on now to another game in the Championship against Leeds. Leeds, I can't remember where they were in the table, but I knew the Spurs game was coming up, and I knew I had to rest my players ahead of that, which was the toughest game of the season for us, and I didn't want to risk a potential suspension, injury, anything along those lines, or someone being tired who I needed on the team. So I went out with not only a weaker squad, but also with a squad that I knew I shouldn't play. If I did play this game, I'd probably be able to win it, but then again, the episode would be much longer, and that was just not something I was in the mood for. Anyway, I can't see anything about Aston Villa's results down there. Nevertheless, we finished this game with a 0-0 draw against Leeds. I imagine it was a very dreary game, and one that was very boring. But anyway, we're going to go to the antithesis of that by going to Wembley. It's the final of the EFL Cup. It's the only thing we really give a shit about in this episode. That's the word I was looking for. There's the journey that both teams have taken. You can see it's been a kind of an easy road for Spurs. We've had a much more difficult road, and especially the semi-finals. It's somewhere where we should have been knocked out, but we sent Arsenal packing. We ruined the chance of a London derby taking place in Wembley, and instead it's Nottingham Forest and Spurs vying for the right to hold that EFL Championship right there. That is a title that Spurs would love to win, but it's a title that I think we need to win to try and cement ourselves. And of course, if memory serves me correct, you win this, you get a shot in the Euro League next season. So it would be scary and interesting to see how Nottingham Forest would cope in the Euro League if we were to make it that far. You saw the lineups there, and now we're going to advance to the second half. The first half was just trying to find each other out, and Arsene Belonga knocks into the back of the net. But unfortunately, it's given as offside. Arsene Belonga there, I believe it's almost the 70th minute. They really, it was a lot of just back and forth trying to find the weak spot of each other's teams. We thought we found it here, but they play a good offside trap there to keep us down, and Arsene Belonga's goal was offside. Now we move on here. Walker's running down. He finds Lamela, gets tackled there. Groich needs to get it out. We're trying anything. Oh no, we messed it all up. Instead of clearing it, we pass it along our defensive line and give the ball away in a disgusting fashion. I don't want to pin the blame on Groich, and I don't want to pin the blame on Lansbury either, but one of those two is going to have to take the blame. It falls to a name that I actually can't make out right now, which is a shame, but yeah, they level it. They take the lead. You can see Pochettino is absolutely loving it. The subs are loving it. Spurs are in the lead here, and there's not much long left to go. Nkudu, I don't know how you pronounce that name. George there scores it, and that may be a very scary moment. That could be the moment in which Tottenham Hotspur have won the EFL Cup. You can see they turned it down to turned it up even to attacking. Had to go all out here to try and get that equalizing goal. There's not much time left in the game, and if we want to go anywhere, we need to go to extra time, or we need to just get 2 goals in the back of the net now. Lansbury finds a gap in the defense. He runs, and I believe that's Alderweireld taking him down in the box. We get a penalty just a few minutes after they knock it in the back of the net and score. It was incredible to see this. I mean, I don't know why the Spurs thought this. I don't know why Alderweireld thought about sliding in at that angle in a challenge like that. But Lansbury goes down. There's a substitution being made, but who really gives a shit about that? Arsene Belonga steps up here. The Spurs fans in front of him. He doesn't care. He bangs it in the left, and it's 1-1. An incredible goal from Arsene Belonga, who goes up to celebrate on the billboards. It is now 1-1. We have got ourselves right back in it moments after it seemed we were out of it. Can we use this to our advantage and try and capture the EFL trophy? I don't know. Lloris looked as if he might have had if the ball went the right way, but that was so beautifully in the left that he couldn't have stopped it. Groich gets tackled in the box, meanwhile, in the 90th minute. This could be ours. Another disgusting penalty given away by the man who scored the goal for Spurs. He could go from hero to zero in about 15 minutes. Completely knocks down Groich there. He tackles him after the ball is away from Groich's feet. Arsene Belonga steps up. Will the nerves get to him? Yes, they will. He absolutely skies it. I don't know what was Arsene Belonga was thinking, but the nerves, they just way over the bar, and that is just not what I come to expect from Arsene Belonga. But we move on here now. It's getting closer and closer to the end. We've got Arsene Belonga on the ball. He shoots. It hits the post. Pereira's there on the rebound. 110th minute. Pereira scores. We're in the lead. We're 10 minutes away from taking the trophy back home. This could be ours. Arsene Belonga with an incredible run with whatever energy he had left. Pereira, the super sub, coming on there and knocking down the back of the net. An easy touch. Lloris just fingertips away from getting it. But this could be ours. We move on here. Vertonghen of all people. Pass into Lamela. Gets saved. Vertonghen's there. And in the 120th minute, in the last touch of free play, or whatever you want to say about it, Vertonghen is the one to score it. Of all people, the centre-back, that is Jan Vertonghen, runs down the pitch and knocks that in the back of the net, meaning that we're going to a penalty shootout. Nothing Wellham Ruther can be blamed for that. He makes a great save against Lamela. He's up to his feet and he's just a little out of position when he gets up, but there's not really anything he can do about that. It is in the back of the net and it is going to go to penalties. An intense moment here. Harry Kane steps up to the spot and knocks it in. It is 1-0 to Spurs right now. Nothing Wellham Ruther could have done there. Lansbury steps up. Does he have what it takes to put in the back of the net? Yes, he does. Goes the same way as Kane. Surprised Lloris didn't get that because it wasn't that far to the left of him. Janssen steps up now. He takes a bit of a run up. Can he knock this one in the back of the net? He can. Wellham Ruther, I'm not too sure what kind of dive he was looking for there. Vaughan steps up. Can he knock this in the back of the net? He can. It's a simple tap in. And again, it questions how Lloris couldn't have got to that one. Herrera, who obviously must have joined them in January, steps up to the spot. Can he make this a third for Spurs? He can. He knocks it in slow to the right and it rolls across the floor. Asamoah steps up. Will he choke again? He does! Asamoah chokes under pressure, and now Spurs can have a lead. If Lamela can knock this in, they can go 2 up, and they do. I have no idea what Wellham Ruther was thinking there, but it was disgusting. It comes down to Pereira. This misses. We're out. No, it just goes in. Pereira just scores it, but now Jan Vertonghen steps up. Spurs score this, and they've won. It's over. It is over. We make it to the finals. We make it to Wembley. But Jan Vertonghen puts in one of the performances of his life. The captain for Spurs not only gets them the goal to bring them to penalties, but scores the goal that wins them the EFL Cup. Wellham Ruther didn't really know which way to go in all of them. He's turned invisible, but he didn't really know which way to go. But in all occasions, he went the wrong way, it seems. And well, it's just something that I can't put into words, really. We were inches away, truly inches away from winning that EFL trophy, but it just wasn't meant to be. Spurs did it. Fair play to Spurs. They put in the performance. They deserve to win. They got this far, and it's nice to see Spurs going on with a trophy. We tried our hardest, but we've still got the EFL Championship, and hopefully next season we can take on these guys in the BPL twice and see if anything can change about that. Spurs are your winners. Meanwhile, however, we now turn our attention to either the FA Cup or the League Championship, and there's the table, as you can see, to finish off this episode. We are level with Villa, which is scary. Villa winning while we were drawing. However, we have a game in hand over them, so we can afford to go back to being 3 points up if we win our next game. A little bit of a sad episode that we didn't win the trophy, but those things happen. Anyway, that's going to win this episode of Career Mode. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys, and ta-ra.